Hello everyone. So today we'll be taking up the daily quiz for the date 22nd March 2024. So before we get into the daily quiz, there is a very small announcement. So that is regarding the National Scholarship Test that will be conducted this weekend, and all the details for it is given in the description box below. So now let us get into the first question. So the first question is based on today's article. So there was one article regarding the Karnataka governor. So Karnataka governor returned one bill. The name of that bill was Endowment Bill. So Karnataka Assembly recently passed one endowment bill, but however it was written by the governor of Karnataka. So in this context, we'll be taking up the question. So which of the following statement regarding the governor's power on bill is or are correct? So in this, the context is regarding the governor's powers on bill. So statement 1, the governor can return any bill passed by the state legislature. So what do you think? Can the governor return any bill passed by the state legislature? So in this case, the governor has written the endowment bill. But can the governor return any bill passed by the state legislature? No. What does the constitution say? The constitution say under article 200, it clearly states that the governor can return the bill, the governor may return the bill, but however he or she cannot return the money bill. So the governor can return the bill other than the money bill. So the governor cannot return the money bill. Other than money bill, the governor can return any bill back to the legislature. So this statement is absolutely wrong. So why it is wrong? It is not any bill. So the governor cannot return the money bill. So statement 1 is wrong. So what about statement 2? The governor's power to withhold assent is absolute and cannot be challenged in the court of law. So again here, let's go back into our constitution. What does article 200 tell? The article 200 clearly mentions that the governor has the power to withhold assent. So withhold the assent to the bill. But the constitution doesn't define the duration to which the governor can withhold the assent. So does the constitution give absolute power and which cannot be challenged in any court of law? No, the constitution gives the power to the governor to withhold his or her assent, but however it can be challenged. If you consider say Kerala, so recently Kerala government challenged the Kerala's governor for withholding the assent in the Honorable Supreme Court. So again, this statement is wrong. That is, the governor's power to withhold assent is given in the constitution, but however it can be challenged. It is not that it cannot be challenged. It can be challenged, and it has been challenged recently by the Kerala government. So this statement is also wrong. So now the answer is D is the answer. So now let us go to the next question. So the next question is regarding the article, the recent movie that is about to come, that is Sara Ali Khan's one of my favorite actors. But leaving that aside, so the movie is based on the freedom fighter Usha Mehta. So this question is on the topic of Usha Mehta. So Usha Mehta was one of the important freedom fighter in the Gandhian period. So one of the important women freedom fighter in the Gandhian period, to be more precise. So consider the following statement regarding Usha Mehta, a prominent freedom fighter. So Usha Mehta was a prominent freedom fighter in the Gandhian period. So statement 1, Usha Mehta was a member of INC, that is Indian National Congress, and actively participated in Quit India movement. Did Usha Mehta actively participate during Quit India movement or CDM? So civil disobedience movement, which one? So in fact, Usha Mehta participated actively during the Quit India movement. If you remember, if you see your modern history, if you remember Quit India movement period, so during Quit India movement period, most of the important leaders were arrested by the British. But however, Usha Mehta played a very important role when there was a vacuum, because most of the leaders were arrested during Quit India movement. And the Quit India movement call was given by Mahatma Gandhi. So again, this statement is absolutely right. So Usha Mehta played a very crucial role during Quit India movement when most of the leaders were arrested by the British. So statement 1 is absolutely right. So what about statement 2? Statement 2 says that she played a significant role in organizing underground radio broadcast known as Congress Radio during the freedom struggle. So did Usha Mehta start any underground radio broadcasting station called as Congress Radio? Yes, in fact, she did it. That's why she is very famous for. So what happened during the Quit India movement? British arrested all the important leaders. So the message of Quit India movement was not getting passed to the common masses. So in during this period, Usha Mehta initiated a radio station called as Congress Radio, and through that she was circulating the messages of Quit India movement given by Gandhiji, and she was mobilizing the masses. So this was a very famous act of Usha Mehta in order to mobilize the masses and support the Quit India movement. So that's why she is very famous for. So this statement is absolutely right. What about statement 3? So statement 3, Usha Mehta later served as a MP, that is Member of Parliament, and held various ministerial positions in independent India. No, Usha Mehta was not an MP, neither she was an minister in independent India. So the statement is wrong. In fact, Usha Mehta was actively in the Gandhian movement, that is in spreading the ideas of Gandhi post independence also. She was actively participating, and she was actively participating in all the Gandhian ideas. So in order to spread the Gandhian ideas, but she was not a MP, neither a minister. So statement 3 is wrong. If statement 3 is wrong, so the answer would be B. B is the answer. Fine. So let us take the next question, and the next question is regarding today's important event. Today we call it as World Water Day. That is the 22nd March is known for World Water Day. In this context, we had one Hindu editorial. So we'll be taking up the question from this context. Consider the following statement regarding Jal Shakti Abhiyan. So Jal Shakti Abhiyan, you should know all the schemes, very important scheme. This is a flagship scheme of the union government. You should know about this. So this article was speaking about this Jal Shakti Abhiyan. So statement 1, India has launched Jal Shakti Abhiyan to promote conservation, water conservation and rainwater harvesting. Is it true? Yes, that's the crux of Jal Shakti Abhiyan. So along with water conservation, it also under Jal Shakti Abhiyan, the union government also aims to provide water to all the households. And along with rainwater harvesting, various other water conservation mechanisms are also promoted under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan. And along with this, it is made as a public movement. That is, the public awareness is one of the important factor in Jal Shakti Abhiyan. So when this scheme was launched, so it was launched as a mass movement where the public are made as a important stakeholders in order to promote the idea of water conservation. So this statement is absolutely right. What about statement 2? Jal Shakti Abhiyan focuses solely on urban areas and does not cover rural areas. Is it true? Is it even sensible? No. So Jal Shakti Abhiyan covers rural area as well. So it doesn't just cover your urban area, it covers your rural area also. So statement 2 is wrong. So statement 1 is absolutely right and statement 2 is wrong. If statement 2 is wrong, so what's the answer? Answer comes down to C. C is the answer. So now let us go to the next question, and the next question is based on the next article. Again, this article is very important because this article talks about a report known as World Water Developmental Report. World Water Development Report was asked, this question was asked last year. So one entire question was dedicated in UPSC regarding the World Water Development Report, and this article speaks about that report. So as a reason, we are taking up this article. Okay? So fine. So question number 4. Consider the following statement regarding the World Water Development Report. So on this report. The statement 1. The report is prepared by WHO, World Health Organization, in collaboration with UN Water. See, water has an impact on health, but is the report compiled or prepared by the WHO, World Health Organization? What do you think? So this question was asked last year. Again here, guys, if you have to clear prelims, you have to be very thorough with the previous year questions. So many previous year questions do get repeated. So what's the answer here? Is the statement 1 right? The report is prepared by WHO in collaboration with UN report? No. The report is not prepared by your WHO. In fact, the report is published by UNESCO. So the report is published by UNESCO on behalf of UN Water. If you see here, the reports, that is the every year UNESCO publishes the report. So every year, usually somewhere around March, UNESCO publishes the report on behalf of UN Water. that is the World Water Development Report, is published by UNESCO on behalf of UN Water every year. So this statement is wrong. What about statement 2? The report covers the topics such as water scarcity, water quality, wastewater management, and water related disasters across the world. Does the report talk about these many things, that is regarding your water scarcity, water quality, wastewater management, and water related disasters? Yes, this report is the one of the comprehensive report on the waters. So it covers each and every aspect of water, including the water related disasters like severe drought, etc. So this statement is absolutely right. So statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is right. So the answer has to be B. So B is the answer. Okay, fine. So we'll go to the next question. So the next question is your PYQ, very simple question that was asked in your 2020. Consider the following activities: spraying pesticides on crop field. This is statement 1. Statement 2 is inspecting the craters of the active volcanoes. Third one is collecting the breath samples from a spouting whales for DNA analysis. At the present level of technology, which of the above activities can be successfully carried out using drone? So basically the question is telling that, so using drones, which of these activities can be successfully completed or so successfully carried out? So what are the activities that is given in the question? One is your spraying pesticides, and the next one is inspecting the crater of the active volcanoes, and the third one is collecting breath samples from a spouting whales from a DNA analysis. So what do you think? Can it be done? Can we use drone for spraying pesticides in the crop field? Yes, in fact, India has started it, and it has become quite common in, say, some of the states like, say, Maharashtra, Karnataka, etc. So, and spraying pesticides using drone is more efficient because it can spray a larger area in lesser time. So this is quite common in Maharashtra and even in Karnataka and even some other states. So spraying pesticides is possible. So what's the second statement? So statement 1 is right. What is the second statement? Second statement is inspecting the craters of active volcano, and craters of active volcano is, the temperature is very high. Can we inspect the craters of active volcano? So what is craters of active volcano? So the dip, we call it as the bowl shaped one, we call it as a crater. So if you see here, this is the bowl shape, so that is a crater. Active volcano. So can the drone go near the craters of active volcano? Yes, we do have drones that can reach near the craters of active volcano and monitor it. So this statement is also right. That is, second statement is also right. Collecting the breath samples from the spouting whale for DNA analysis. Is it possible? So yes, it is also possible. This is the spouting whale. That is, this is the whale is spouting. That is the water spouting. So again, the drones will collect this water in order to analyze the DNA samples. So even this statement is also right. So again here, so the answer has to be, all the three statements are right. So the answer has to be D. So D is the answer. Fine. So yeah, this is the end of your all the 5 questions, and now we'll be taking up the fact of the day. So what is the fact of the day? So the fact of the day is your generative AI. Too much in news, and it's the buzzword this year, let's say 2023 and 2024. So it's a buzzword. So after the launch of Gemini, Google AI, so it has become a buzzword, generative AI. So what is generative AI? So it's a simple concept. Generative AI is a subset of AI. It is one type of AI which generates various things like your images, text, songs, content, etc. So that is called as your generative AI. But how does it generate all these things? So basically what happens is that all the data are fed into the system. See, that is, all the data are fed into the system, and it has an algorithm and techniques where it uses the data that is given to the system in order to create new data. Are you getting this concept? So how does this generative AI work? So it works on the principle of learning patterns from the data. So huge set of data, massive set of data is fed into the system, and the generative AI has an algorithm. This algorithm analyzes this data set and creates new content. Say this is the data set that is fed into the system, and this system would analyze those data and it will create a new system, new data, or say new image or new text, etc. So that is called as generative AI. The principle of generative AI is that you feed some data, massive sets of data. The AI has an algorithm to analyze these data sets and creates its own new content. So that is the concept of your generative AI. Where generative AI can be used. So generative AI can be used in various applications, and one application is creation of your art and creativity. Say creation of new image, creation of new musics, etc. So we can use generative AI. Say if you consider this image, what do you think? So who is this person? So what do you think? So this is not a real person as such. So this is a generative. This is one image that is created using generative AI. That is Bing. Bing has this generative AI. So Bing. So again using that, so the command that was given was that image of a UPSC aspirant who is studying seriously. So using this command, the generative AI would have a set of data using that, and using this command, so the generative AI, that is your Bing, has created a new image altogether. So this is not a real person, or say this is not a real person as such. This is a newly created image. So this is the application of your generative AI. And again content generation, say content generation in terms of your stories, in terms of your music, etc. A huge set of data is given and you ask for a story and it will give you a story. So that is possible. Say the famous generative AI are your ChatGPT, or say your Gemini, Google's Gemini, etc. So these are your, it will help in content generation. And the third one is, recently it is too much in news, that is generative AI is also being utilized in the game development. So all the high-end games in the recent times are using generative AI. So these are the applications of generative AI. It has a vast applications. But however, is there any drawback of the generative AI? Yes, there are a lot of drawbacks of generative AI. Recently it was in news as well. So the generative AI has the output that comes from your generative AI as slight biasness, and it shows some degree of discrimination. So you are you understanding the concept of generative AI? You feed in some massive set of data, the algorithm will analyze this data and give out some output. But if the data set that if you are giving is not appropriate, so what will happen? The generative AI will give some output which is biased or which shows some element of discrimination. So again here recently the Gemini, that is the ChatGPT, the counterpart of ChatGPT, the Google's counterpart of ChatGPT is Gemini. So again Gemini had some distasteful comments on the Prime Minister. So it called Prime Minister Modi as fascist. So as a reason, this issue was raised by the Honorable Minister, and again finally Google had to apologize to the government of India. So again it shows the biasness, a huge amount of biasness over here, and there's an element of discrimination as well. So these are the drawbacks of your generative AI. And also another major drawback of this generative AI is the deep fakes. So these are actually the fake images. These are not the real images. These are deep fakes. So these deep fakes are generated using generative AI. These are not real images. So many people would think that these are real images, but these are not real images. These are deep fakes. And again, the generative AI can be used for generating malicious content. So if you consider recent, that is yesterday's update is that there was a malicious content that was created on the Italian Prime Minister. And the case is going on. So these are the major issues of generative AI. But however, technology, as we tell, the technology cannot be stopped, it can be regulated. So it is very appropriate for us to regulate the generative AI. So let us see what the government and takes actions regarding the generative AI. Okay, fine. So this is the end of the class. So chalo then. So thank you guys.